Admiral Zexathera's six eyes widened in disbelief as the sensor data cascaded across the holographic display of the Imperial command ship Dominion's Fist. The massive vessel, flagship of the Galactic Empire's Third Fleet, had encountered countless alien ships in its 3-century reign across the galaxy. But this was impossible. "Run the scans again," Zexathera commanded, her chitinous claws clicking nervously against the command console. The bridge crew, a mix of reptilian saurians and insectoid Vex, scrambled to comply. "Admiral," reported Navigation Officer Krillthox, his compound eyes reflecting the eerie blue glow of the scanner array. "The readings are consistent. That vessel is 15 kilometers long. Mass readings suggest it's constructed primarily of impossible. The computer says compressed neutronium and quantum-stabilized matter." The bridge fell silent except for the low hum of the ship's engines. In the view screen ahead, what appeared to be a human vessel hung motionless in space. But calling it a vessel seemed inadequate. It was a leviathan, dwarfing even the Empire's largest dreadnoughts. Its hull gleamed with an almost organic shimmer, covered in geometric patterns that seemed to shift and breathe. "Humans," spat Commander Vexnala, her mandibles clicking with disdain. "Those primitive bipeds barely discovered faster than light travel 50 years ago. Their largest ships are crude metal constructs, barely 300 meters in length. This must be some kind of trick." Admiral Zexathera wasn't so sure. The Empire had been monitoring human expansion for decades, initially amused by their stumbling attempts at space colonization. Humans were considered a curiosity, violent, unpredictable, but ultimately insignificant in the grand tapestry of galactic civilization. They possessed no advanced technology, no psychic abilities, no natural advantages that distinguished the truly powerful species. Yet something about this ship made Zexathera's skin crawl with an ancestral fear she couldn't quite name. "Open communication channels," she ordered. The main screen flickered and 2 human faces appeared. The male was tall with dark hair and intense green eyes, Alexander according to the transmitted identification. Beside him stood a woman with auburn hair and calculating blue eyes, Nora. They wore simple uniforms that looked almost archaic compared to the Empire's ornate military regalia. "This is Admiral Zexathera of the Imperial Third Fleet," she began, trying to project authority despite her growing unease. "You are in violation of Imperial space. Identify your vessel and state your intentions." Alexander smiled, and something in that expression made Zexathera step back unconsciously. "Admiral, I'm Captain Alexander Chen of the Earth vessel Indomitable. This is my tactical officer, Commander Nora Sullivan. We're here to discuss humanity's position in your Empire." "That ship cannot be human construction," Vexnala interjected, her voice carrying the arrogance typical of Imperial officers. "Humans lack the technological sophistication to build a ship from compressed neutronium?" Nora interrupted, her voice carrying an almost musical quality that somehow felt threatening. "To harness zero-point energy? To manipulate quantum foam into stable matter configurations?" The bridge crew exchanged nervous glances. Those were theoretical concepts that the Empire's greatest scientists had only recently begun to explore. Alexander leaned forward slightly. "You see, Admiral, you've made a fundamental error in your assessment of humanity. You've been watching us for 50 years, observing our expansion, cataloging our primitive technology. But you never asked the right question. Which is?" Zexathera found herself asking despite her better judgment. "Why?" Nora said. "Would a species that mastered interstellar travel so quickly be using such apparently primitive ships?" The question hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Alexander continued, his smile never wavering. "Humans have a saying, never let your enemy see your true strength until it's too late to matter. We've been very careful to appear manageable." "Impossible," Commander Vexnala hissed. "Our intelligence networks are flawless. We would have detected advanced human technology." "Would you?" Alexander asked. "Your intelligence networks monitor energy signatures, material compositions, communication frequencies, all the markers of technology as you understand it. But human innovation doesn't follow your patterns." On the tactical display, more signatures began appearing. One by one, dozens of human ships decloaked around the Imperial fleet. Each was smaller than the Indomitable, but their energy readings were off the charts. "You see," Nora explained calmly, While you were building bigger engines and thicker armor, humanity was asking different questions. What if we could fold space-time itself? What if we could convert matter to energy and back again at will? What if we could make our ship's hulls self-repair using controlled quantum fluctuations? Admiral Zexathara's tactical officer suddenly looked up from his console, all four of his eyes wide with terror. Admiral, they're inside our shields. Somehow they're inside our defensive perimeter without triggering any alarms. That's because, Alexander said pleasantly, our ships exist in a quantum superposition until observed directly. Your sensors can't track what isn't entirely present in your dimensional space. The implications hit Zexathara like a physical blow. If humans had developed technology that could manipulate fundamental forces of reality itself, then the Empire's assumptions about galactic power balance were catastrophically wrong. What do you want? She asked, proud that her voice remained steady. Coexistence, Nora replied simply. Humanity has no interest in conquest or domination, but we also won't accept subjugation. We're offering the Empire a choice. Mutual respect and cooperation, or, well, let's just say the Indomitable carries enough firepower to crack planets. You're bluffing. Alexander's smile faded slightly. Are we? He nodded to Nora, who touched something on her console. The view screen switched to show a distant asteroid. A thin beam of light lanced out from the human battleship, and the asteroid simply ceased to exist. Not exploded, not vaporized. It was deleted from existence as if reality itself had been edited. Matter-to-energy conversion at the quantum level, Nora explained. Very clean, very efficient. The bridge of the Dominion's fist fell dead silent. In the span of minutes, everything the Galactic Empire believed about humanity, about their own supremacy, about the very nature of power in the galaxy, had been turned upside down. Admiral Zexathara straightened her shoulders, drawing on centuries of military training. I'll need to contact the Imperial Council. Of course, Alexander said, his friendly demeanor returning. Take all the time you need. We'll be waiting. As the communication ended, Zexathara stared at the massive human ship dominating her view screen. Humanity had been hiding in plain sight for decades, letting the Empire believe they were primitive newcomers while secretly developing technology that bordered on magic. The galaxy, it seemed, had just gotten much more interesting and much more dangerous. For the first time in her long career, Admiral Zexathara wondered if the Galactic Empire had finally encountered something it couldn't conquer. Perhaps, she thought with growing dread, they were about to find out what it felt like to be the primitive ones.